Well, when I was diagnosed, I'm talking about 15 years ago, and when I ask myself normally, was I overweight? Did I drink too much? And the answer to that, I always say yes. And this happened possibly after the age of 45, when I started to enjoy parties and go out in the evenings. And at the age of 50, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. The symptoms were obviously typical symptoms. I was feeling very thirsty. What I used to do was to get up in the night and drink gallons of water. Even during the night, I had a jug full of water right next to my bedside cabinet, and go to the toilet, drink a lot of water. And during the day, I used to drink a lot of sweet drinks, plenty of sweet as well, and feeling thirsty all the time. Whatever I could get hold, whatever kind of drink I could get hold of, I was just taking it, and also drinking a lot of water. And my eyes were also not particularly very good, and I felt they were blurred. And also I was losing a lot of weight, so I had lost quite a bit of weight. So I went to the hospital, and about 3 days later I had an appointment with the doctor. This was done on a fasting blood glucose, and my sugar levels were 17, and the doctor said to me, "Yes, my friend, you are a diabetic."
I mean, I was only 5 years old, so I don't remember an awful lot, but the main symptoms were a massive amount of weight loss, drinking obsessively to the point where you have a pint of water and then you're drinking another pint of water. And obviously that then leads to going to the toilet all the time. You felt extremely sick, tired, I mean, to the point where you couldn't get off the sofa. My mum took me to the doctors several times, and then it was diagnosed through a urine test, as was then. And then I was found to have diabetes, and I had an extremely high blood sugar reading. And that's how my mum and dad discovered that I had diabetes.
We noticed that she was losing weight. That in itself wasn't a cause for concern straight away, because she was at an age where children often, shed puppy fat, as they call it. And she was very active, so she was getting on with her life and didn't seem to be suffering any particular health problems. But after a period of time, we noticed she was drinking more water. She did complain of the occasional stomach ache. I think on one occasion she was actually sick, but when she was seen by a doctor, they put the aches and pains down to growing pains, and the upset stomach as just a tummy bug. So no alarm bells rang in the early stages, but it was only when we noticed that the weight loss was quite excessive, and she was looking rather pale, that we thought, this isn't right.
As long as my diabetes is under control, you don't have any symptoms. The problem with diabetes is that it is extremely hard to control. So if your blood sugar readings are too high, you will be extremely thirsty, indigestion, you'll feel sick, headache, lethargic, and the best way of describing it is the worst hangover you've had, because you're dehydrated. If your blood sugars are too low, it impairs your brain function and you feel very weak. You can end up giddy and a bit stupid, saying very, very silly things. And a worst case scenario with that, you will collapse and become unconscious. But by taking sugar, it brings you up again.
I feel very, very shaky. You see that, I need to eat something. It's definitely more, feel very numb and very shaky with your hands and all that. That's what happens, yes.